angels. It's Thursday night. If you haven't seen 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, you're wondering why the hell I'm playing Duran Duran's Ordinary World to open up the show this evening. Thanks for being here live, as always, from L.A. Prominently featured in the film tonight, nice little needle drop from 1993. And all I got to say here tonight is, I love when I'm wrong. I do. I want to be proven wrong more often than you can even imagine. And I really expected to hate this film. As you guys know, the first one made our worst of 2025 list, was way up there. But what a difference a year makes. As Nia DaCosta has performed a miracle here tonight with The Bone Temple. Come in with your comments if you had a chance to see it. And I am highly recommending this film. I know. I did not, in any universe, expect to say that here tonight. Let's go and get my out-of-theater reaction, and we'll get into what makes this work so well. I mean, wow. Night and day. Truly. Okay, you look at what happens in this film, and you're talking about the importance of directorial restraint. That is going to be the key takeaway here for tonight's MMTE of The Bone Temple. When you direct a film, you need to show some ability to hold back and not go gonzo, as we saw with Danny Boyle in 28 Years Later. Nia does not do that in this film. And it's everything to why this film is literally 100% improvement over the first one. Here comes 30 seconds of the film to get you ready for tonight's MMTE. And then we roll live, as always. Thanks for being here on Midnight Movie Talk.
Are you ready? They say the devil's always up for making a deal. This is interesting. Let's turn this up to 11.
28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
And yes, everything that you saw there, every plaudit that typically is unearned, I would say is earned here tonight by Nia DaCosta, who showed me a lot with Candyman. You go back to that film, and you can see a very talented director. And here with this film, you certainly cement that. Forget about the Marvels. Just pretend it doesn't exist. But we really focus on the difference between a director who is out of control and showed no restraint. Again, back to that key dynamic that we're discussing here this evening. Directorial restraint. And she's able to do that. I think there's a lot of choices here that were so far superior to the first film, but headlined by that restraint, which, because you're not trying to do so much with 1,000 different angles of the zombie attack and just a mishmash of songs and a horrible score, right? All of that combined to be pure chaos in the first film. You get a focus on the characters here. You get Jack O'Connor, who you remember from Sinners. And here he's back with this band, Charles Manson-esque, and he is lights out. You know Ray Fiennes going to deliver. He does as well. You get those two meeting head to head. And all of it combines to be the biggest surprise of the year so far for me. I know we're only a few weeks in. but I have not seen a truly bad film in 2026. We are off to a flying start here this year. I'm giving it 89%. Very high B+. One of the choices that I think we really need to talk about here with Bone Temple, and it's very important you understand this, okay? We talk about so often the importance of score. And that first film had was an Irish band, UK band, and it was a total incongruent match with the film. And it really wrecked that film. Guess who did the score here? I didn't know going in. Hildur from Joker. Guatnur. And right, that decision alone made this more tolerable. Listen, here's what's going to happen. Down the road at film schools, they're going to show 28 years later, and they're going to show 28 years later Bone Temple. And they're going to say, write an essay as to how the hell the second film turned out to be a miracle after watching the pile of dog shit that was the first film. I know, Satvik. I didn't even realize that Danny Boyle wants to come back for the third film. There's no way in hell that's happening. If I'm at Sony, I am stopping production and I am going to say, when are you available again, Nia DaCosta? Because until you are, we are not going to proceed with part 3. I have no faith after 28 years later of Danny Boyle. Frankly, I need like a whole nother film before I let him get back behind a camera. I'm not funding anything he's doing after the abomination that was 28 years later. And I say this often, and I really mean this. If you know somebody who thinks 28 years later is a great film, I just want you to know that there's nothing that they will ever say that will have any impact, because all of it is false lies. You can't miss this shit. There are certain films, and we've had these discussions about a Mickey 17, about a Babylon, about a Beau is Afraid, you cannot miss on 28 years later. And there are some who did, because they evaluated based on Danny Boyle. No one's a bigger Danny Boyle stan than me pre-28 years later. You look at films like Millions. I love Slumdog Millionaire. You look at his diversity. Go back and look at Yesterday, a film that was made better by his direction. You just talk about one of the most disappointing things I ever had to suffer through, and that was 28 years later. So tonight, wow. You know, what a gift, frankly, because I was dreading going to the theater. And here it is. And this is also, man, let me tell you, this film is dark. Like, right? O'Connor's group of Jimmies is sadistic. I mean, this is going to be tough to watch for some people. I mean, it's not quite Terrifier, but it's not outside that far. I mean, it's definitely a hard R film. It's a true horror film. And it also has, as I mentioned, that high value on characters. And all of that makes this a must-see. Really, it does. It is. And I'm, again, stoked to be able to report that here tonight. Luis, it's insane how DaCosta accomplished what Boyle, franchise creator, failed to deliver. And that's exactly the thing, right? And I go back and I look at Candyman, and I was a big fan of that film. And I like the style of it and the aesthetic of it. And that's when I first, became familiar with her work. Obviously, Marvel's, let's just forget that happened. I mean, that's really something I think Marvel took over, right? Nia might have wanted to make a certain film, and Marvel, Disney, just took it out of her hands and said, we're going to make the pile of garbage that is the Marvels. I did not see Hedda. I probably will now that I've seen 28 years later Bone Temple, because of how strong this film is. And, listen, I was a little bit weary tonight that if I had not liked this film, and I want to have a discussion here, let's just be honest, because I like to do this. I think it's fair, and I think it's something we need to have. In this space, if I were to come on the stream and say that 28 years later, Bone Temple was as bad as the first, or even just not nearly as good as I say it is, there's going to be someone out there who says, look, he doesn't like a black female director. And I want to address that right now and say that if you are that person, and there are people out there, and don't pretend you're not, I want to let you know that you are a gutter-dwelling piece of trash. Okay? There's no other way to put it. And I have never nor will ever evaluate a film higher or lower based on the race, ethnicity. You guys have heard this speech a million times. I'm not going to go into it again. But I'm just letting the person know, whoever that was waiting for that, right? Because that's how it always goes. If you don't like a film, well, you're just a racist. You are, right? Because especially in this case, when you have a black female director. But again, at no point during this hour and 50-minute runtime did I say to myself, wow, I think the reason this is good is because it's a black female director. Can you imagine? But that's you know that is absolutely how a lot of people run. And I'll never do it. And I'll fight that to the end of the earth. It's never going to happen. So I just want to address that and make sure that's very, very crystal fucking clear here tonight, that this film is earned, like every evaluation here on MMT. It is 100% based on merit. And that's all there is to say on that. Case is closed. I don't want to have that discussion ever again. And if everyone ever tries to bring that up, it's going to be bad. Like, really bad. Don't do it, okay? Again, don't ever be in the sphere of someone like that. They're a trash human being, and you need to disregard them and get them the fuck out of your way because they're useless to society. Sorry. I mean, it's what I do. I'm not going to stop. It's how we do things. I just want to make sure that's absolutely, there's always an opportunity to have a conversation about something maybe a little bit tangential. Obviously, this is not. This is dead on, right? It's very much in what we're doing tonight. But I will always interject and inject that into what I'm doing because we just don't have enough of that. It needs to be said. And I will always, always take that opportunity when it presents itself. Let's check Rotten Tomatoes, and then we'll check the the ticket sales tonight. I'll go into that and give you my guess on where this is going to go. It's going to be smaller than the first film because the first film burned so many people. You know, it burned me. Listen, if I didn't have A-list, I probably wouldn't see this film. And I've heard a lot of the reviews are high, right? Look at 93% here, which it should be. It should be at least that high. And you're talking about 4 out of 5. You know, certainly, like I said, that's a 4 out of 5, you know, for me. So, yeah, there's really no universe in which this is a bad film. I'm trying to see, even our boy Bilge Iberi got one right. I mean, occasionally the chin stroking, God, overvalued Bilge Iberi gets one right. Let's see if anyone gave it a rotten, because that's pretty crazy if you did. I don't see any so far. There's one. The characters' viewers deserve better. I disagree completely. Whoever Pablo Schultz is, that's not how it happened. Tonight, really, you have to be on the... There's really no room for error on this. It is a positive film. It's just that simple. Especially when you compare it to the first film. But even if I didn't have the first film, it would still be very high for me. Right? Like, I'm not saying because it shits all over the first film that it is... Therefore, it's good. No, it's in its own right a very, very strong film. So that needs to be said. But again, you just can't miss these things. Like, this is a very cut and dry, very clear recommend on this. There's no gray area on this film. None. Let's check the ticket sales here. This is our theater check, and I'll give you my number. The projector, 815 Dolby, just down the street where I saw this film tonight. I saw it in Prime. Love Prime. Prime has the subwoofers in the seats. It's probably my favorite theater. You know, I like Dolby. I think I like Prime more. They're very similar. The screen's about the same size. Everything's perfect in there. And when it's going, it's going. Like when we hear Duran Duran, we got Iron Maiden, we got Hildur's score. You are locked in. Look at this. Bone Temple's virtually sold out. I mean, the word of mouth on this is very good. But again, this is the number one AMC in the entire nation, right? Clear, far, it's so far ahead of everyone else. So as I show you, this is the number one AMC in the world. So yes, it's going to be slammed because this is a cinephilic kind of thing, right? You go back to Danny Boyle and the history of this franchise, and unfortunately, so many people missed the first one. They missed it. Like, again, I just can't stress enough how you can't say something like 28 years later is anything other than an unwatchable, chaotic piece of trash. I mean, it's bad. It's so bad at every single level. It is just intolerable. Oh, God. But this time around, you can't be on the wrong side of history saying this is a course correction, the like of which we have not seen any time of recent note. You got to remind me. Tell me when you saw a first film that was so awful, and a second film that turned it all around. Very rare. Typically, it's the other way around, right? First film strong, sequel's not good. This is completely flipping it around. Very unusual, okay? This is not going to be occurring often in the realm of cinema. Let's look at Universal Prime 645. Why is that still on here? It's gone. That's why. I hit it. I'm like, why is that still here? It's 7:30. I guess I did not refresh my page. Let's go check out Century City because it's one of the biggest as well. When you look at, are they still selling seats? Oh, we can still get in. It's right about ready to start. 7:26. Start at 7. So that means the previews are just about over. You got one seat all the way back. Everything else is pretty close. And Century City Grove, these are the biggest AMCs here in LA, but Burbank's number one by far. All right, if you saw the movie, come in and give me a comment. My projector on this, I'm going to take 1975. Now, listen, I understand that's under the 30 from the first film, but remember, you burned so many people. Now, I'm going to take 1975 up because that means pushing up from that. Why? Because I'm going to take the word of mouth being universally strong here, and deservedly so, right? It's earned stuff. How did Garland write both films? Because the sequel was better in every aspect. Need number 3, especially with that ending. Kevin, I know, right? And that was my thing. Did Alex Garland write this? And he did. So it really is, right? It's almost like you come out of this film and I was sitting there, I couldn't believe it. You know, there's just times where you are wrong. And again, like I said off the top, thrilled to be wrong because I really did not have any interest in seeing this film, even though I'd heard from a number of people that it's strong. I need to make sure this is clear. The space is full of people that are very untrustworthy. And that's as nice as I can put it. I'm going to be as kind as possible here, and I'm just going to say untrustworthy because they just don't consistently deliver. I think that's the one thing. If there's one thing MMT does better than anyone else, it's consistency. There's no one in this space who consistently, whichever it is, gets this right. Time and time again, the batting average is so high because when you are purely objective, and I went into the speech about not valuing director because it's a woman or what, right? All that kind of nonsense fucks you up, right? If you're the person who's doing that, if you're valuing a theme of a movie, the subject of a movie, like we saw with One Battle or even a Sinners, when you're doing that, you're really eroding your credibility because you are not being objective. You are agenda-driven, biased, and I am not agenda-driven or biased. How many times have you seen me come in here, destroy a film by a director, turn around and say the next one's good? Let's talk about Ari Aster. Beau is Afraid. Unwatchable, should never work again after that. And then you end up with Eddington, which had so many interesting ideas. I think it falls apart on the back end, but still, wow, what an improvement, okay? Then you look at Yorgos Lanthimos, who goes from Poor Things, a film that I think is really troublesome at the minimum, okay? And also just, wow, I really wanted to tear my eyeballs out. Then you go to Kinds of Kindness, which I liked. And then you go to Begonia, the best of the three. See, I have the amazing ability, and you need to learn how to have this. You need to realize that in life, you might hate it one day and then turn around like you have to have the ability to be malleable. And that is what I am. I am 100% malleable. I'm not going to get back into another film. I'm not going to reevaluate a film. It's not going to happen. In other words, like, I'm not going back to watch Poor Things and say, oh no, I was wrong. No, I'm right. It's fucking bad. Okay. Beau is Afraid. Babylon. I'm right. I'm not the guy who switches. Okay. I'm not Matt Neglia who, cobbles together reactions. What's everyone else saying? Then I'll say it, right? who's the dude who stands on his own all the time? Me. Nobody in the space is more fearless, objective, and talented than yours truly. It's just true. Sorry. And one of the reasons is because I am malleable, because I am available to at least consider the fact that maybe you can turn it around. You have to. Without the last movie, Bone Temple would have soared as it did. Would have soared. Latino, listen, here's the deal, Paulie. The first film's a piece of garbage, dude. I'm not going to... I understand your point. It lays the foundation, right? Obviously, we understand that. But, listen, you give Nia DaCosta 1 and 2, and we've got 2 great films. As it is, we only have 1 because we have a director who didn't hammer you over the skull and frankly rip the head out of your socket like the dude in 28 Years Later in that first film. And again, listen, I told you guys people watch the channel. What did I destroy about number 1 almost more than anything? That score. What in the hell was that? Look who was brought in. Hildur. These things aren't just by happenstance. There's no one who's a stronger film evaluator. No one. I don't care who you say. They're not. And I've said it to you before when I was walking out of AMC 16. They're doing the test screening, and the dude's like, oh my God, dude, I watch you all the time. Can I come in? No. He said, no, you can't come into the test screening. I go, why? Because the executives will kick you out. Why? Because they don't want to hear what I have to say. Because if a film's bad and I have to tell you you're fucked, then guess what? I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hold back. I am not the guy who is going to bite my tongue. And that's very clear. And it's a benefit, though. That's the thing is like, why wouldn't you want that? Because they want to be told, like so many people in this town, that everything's great. You're so talented, Jimmy. You can do anything. In reality, like we've said a million times, Jimmy's really not talented. He's not particularly good at anything. But again, when you tell people over and over, constant encouragement, everything's going to be good, everything's good. Yeah, great. That's fantastic. You also have to deal with realities. And if a film's bad, I'm going to savage it. Okay? So, yeah, I get your point, Paulie, but it's dude, the first film turned so many people off that's why I have the number down from that. You have to, Kevin, you have to let her have 3. You literally have to let Nia DaCosta take over again. You cannot let Danny Boyle come back and take over 3. You have to secure Nia DaCosta and let her cook in 3. Garland can write. Boyle can help out. He can produce. He is not directing this film. And I'm going to say something that's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to say it because it's what I do. I think, let's talk about this, because this is, I know this is kind of crazy, but I just want you to work with me here, okay? When you look at Nia DaCosta, obviously we know we're talking about a very talented director. But let's also say, in some ways, I've got to say that it's a benefit to be Nia DaCosta working on this film. Because, let me explain. As a woman, as a female director, men, certainly in Hollywood, are not going to come in and say, you need to do this, this, and this to this film because it's a female director. You guys see what I'm saying here? In other words, she was probably left alone. Thank God she was left alone. Because if we had someone coming in and giving her shit advice, Danny Boyle, and saying, you need to do this and this, it's not like the first one, we have another disaster on our hands. But because they're probably like, listen, even if we don't know if it's going to work, we're just not going to say anything. Because in this town, the Me Too, I'm not saying the sexual stuff, I'm just saying in general, right? It's just easier. You guys know what I'm saying. It's you know what I'm saying. And at the end of the day, thank God, because she nailed it. And again, I go back to Candyman. It's a solid remake, a re-envisioning. I mean, a lot of people have the problem with that finish, right? With the cops and all. I get it. Listen, I understand. But remember, I'm not evaluating, okay, so I might not agree with a film's morals. You go back and you look at Terrifier. I definitely don't agree. I think that is over the line. I would never make a Terrifier film. I would never be able to sleep at night knowing this is what I ushered into the world, okay? But I cannot argue that they are very impactful. Certainly when you're watching them, there's no way not to just feel like disgust, right? And, listen, I still have to give credit to the creation, even if I don't personally, let's say, morally agree with the creative output. I still have to appreciate the fact that it is very accomplished at delivering what it's trying to deliver. That makes sense? So that's what I think I bring to space too, is the ability almost to get out of the way. When you do this, you have to be able to get out of the way. Like tonight, I could have easily gotten in the way and say, this is another bad film. But that's not me. Getting out of the way is saying, get rid of your bias for the first film, which was trash, because I'm biased going, I hope it's not another piece of garbage. And then you go, okay, I'm out of the way. We're at 0. I talk about all the time when these films start, right? From frame 1, I am at 0. Okay, I'm not at 50. I'm not at 99. Like some of these critics, as soon as they see the name Christopher Nolan, we're at a 90, and we're going to go higher than 90. It starts at 0. It's always a 0. And then we go from there based on merit, based on what's there now, not last film, not 5 films ago. I mean, you look at a Megalopolis, unwatchable, disastrous on every single level. There's nothing about that film that approaches quality. Not one thing, okay? But because it's Coppola, you have people like your award-winning film critic Justin Chang, I believe has a Pulitzer, right? Saying you have to see it twice because he couldn't get out of his own way. You see? That's a skill you must learn. How can I erase everything I know prior to what I'm watching right now? No, I'm not. Did he really? Okay, do I have to drag? I have no problem dragging. Jeff Snyder's a fucking freak. I mean, that's being kind. I think the thing that's weird about Jeff Snyder, he thinks he's funny, and he's like not. Like, it's like, dude, I've never met someone who thinks they're funny, and I'm not saying I even think I'm funny. There's times, but like in general, and like I see his stuff. Remember his tweet about like I got a blowjob at the movie theater. Remember that? What? There's certain things you don't say, even if it's a joke, which you don't think it was. Like almost like, dude, there's something wrong. There's something like off. I don't even want to get into it. If it's there, it's there. I can just tell you this. If he missed on that, it's not a surprise. It's not surprising. I'm not going to read it. Rob, I can't. If I read it, I'm going to go ballistic. I'm just trying to stay chill tonight. Okay, it's going to be a shorter stream. I'm not going to go an hour. I'm going to save everything for Sunday because I just want to do this, right? Some of these streams on Thursday will just be about the film that we're talking about. And then Sunday, we'll get into whatever else is out there in the landscape. Yes, thank you, Dr. Heath. Isn't that amazing? The funny thing is I just realized I was looking and I'm like, I think we're right around 3,000. Wow, guys, this took 4 years. The funny thing is like, I kid you not, I appreciate that. I really do. But here's the truth, is that I am not caring about how many subs, likes, and views I have. I mean that. I really do. You have to get out of your own way. You have to detach yourself from giving a shit about that. Because if you go through life waiting for, well, I don't have enough of this or that, you're not going to be happy in the moment. When I created the channel, I just want to talk about movies. You know when the win was for this channel for me? When I started it. When I used to look at this corner of the room and say, what would be perfect right there if I put a bunch of FYC boxes up and started talking about movies, because I'm not doing enough with that. If I'm going to see the movies, let's do something with it, okay? Not just a tweet. Tweets don't get you anywhere, okay? Unless you sit around all day and send tweets about politics and, oh my God, I can't even imagine that life. I would just literally get a gun and I'll blow my brains out. Here's what I'm going to tell you, is that the win was when I just created it, right? It's the creation. It's the fact that you're like, I saw it through. You did it. And then whatever else happens, you let it go. Rick Rubin has that quote. Art, the win is just creating it. It's not about how it's received. It's about, I did it. And then you're still doing it. Look, 4 years later, I'm still doing this. And there's times, yes, I've said, I don't know if I want to do this. But then every time I kind of get away from it, I say I can go back. I think in life, you got to remember this too. You need time away. You really do. You need time. And I have a refractory period naturally, okay, on everything in life. Whether it's going to the gym, which I go 4 or 5 days a week, okay? when I go, I have very set days and I know what day I'm off so that I can just regenerate interest, not think about it. And then when I come back, it feels like I'm ready. And when I do these streams, I do a Thursday, I do a Sunday morning, which is super easy. You're just reading off of box office stuff. It's very easy for me to analyze that stuff. It's like not even any effort, okay? Then the Sunday night show, a little more effort because I'm trying to find some things during the week and some of that stuff. But look, it gives me enough time to regenerate some kind of interest in getting back on because I don't want to go to the movies every single day. I don't want to stream every single day. I just want downtime. I need my downtime. Some people, listen, like I talk to Menzel all the time. He goes to these movie festivals and he watches how many? He goes to how many film festivals? He watches like 5 movies a day sometimes. No way. I have no interest. I can't even watch 2. Honestly, they have to be very separate, like one very early and one very late. And even then, I think it's a disservice to film number 2 because I'm kind of burnt. Like right now, I would not be good in any movie unless it was like 10 minutes long. But anything other than that, it's too much. Disney, we hope Disney left Sam Raimi alone filming Send Help. That's right, it's Fox, right? 20th Century. I think so. Listen, they didn't leave him alone during Doctor Strange. We know that. I told you my source, who's really smart, knows all the stuff, said that Sam Raimi was basically ejected from that movie. And you can kind of see, right? Remember the multiverse of midness. Not a great film. So if Send Help's good, man, listen, so far, January, look, we've had a win with The Plague is really good film, okay? The Plague is number 1. Then we have Bone Temple will be number 2 right now. Then I would go Primate, which is a fun B film, right? We've discussed that. And Greenland 2 is serviceable as a sequel, bigger in scope, and it's fine. It's got a nice tight runtime, maybe to its detriment. But right, so that's 4. I've seen 4 films theatrically in 2026. All 4s are W's, right? None of them was like last year. We were seeing films like, I don't even want to go to the movies. So this so far is a win. And if this turns out to be good, the Send Help, which I imagine it will be, you've got 2 strong actors. I like the idea, a Lost kind of thing, right? You guys watch Lost, haven't you? Please tell me you've watched Lost. What a show. Okay, the back end, the finality of that does not really fit the way that you really want it to. But some of those episodes along the way, the one episode, like the time hopping with him and his girlfriend, the Scottish dude, that episode's unbelievable. I mean, I haven't watched it in like 10, 15 years. Lost is a great show. I just wish the ending was equal to the level of the show throughout the entire run. But, you look at Self-Help, or is this, what is it, Send Help? You look at it and I just say, yeah, I think it could work, certainly with Raimi. You know what I love about Raimi is, at the end it's going to go super dark, right? Drag Me to Hell. Oh, no, it's not. Like any movie that does that, especially horror, where everything's good and then at the end, no, Exorcist believer. Sorry, it is. And right, that I always will go for that. That's my kind of finish, a down finish, a real, an honest finish to what was written prior to the completion of the third act, right? Does it honor everything else that was in the film, or does it cheapen it? I think that's the key. Oh, yeah, you know what? I did not see that. Someone wanted me to watch it. I was so unimpressed with the trailer, I said no. But I'm glad you told me that, Luis, because I've heard that from multiple people. I think it's going to be a big skip for me. It's not up for any awards. There's really no reason to see it. I'm going to do that for more of these films, especially if I hear middling at best kind of things about these things. I'm just going to skip, unless the runtime's really short. But I will always watch a horror film because they're just easy to consume. You don't have to do much processing. And so anytime there's something that's really like a small indie horror film, I'll go watch it because it's easy to goof on if it's bad. It doesn't take a lot of processing power, as we talk about. And that's always a win for me. But yeah, Luis, I heard that. I heard it wasn't a great film. All right, let's do this. Let's get ready for the Comment Blast closeout. It's going to be a tighter stream tonight because It just is, because listen, we had a fun night tonight. I enjoyed the film. I'm glad you guys, enjoy the stream. I also uploaded a really short, like a minute. I put like me walking out of the theater, just a quick little reaction if you want to watch that. But man, a win's here tonight, no question. Bone Temple clears every horror film from 2025 except maybe Bring Her Back. Kevin agreed. I mean, it's certainly, again, just back to what I said off the top. I really am shell-shocked here tonight, because I wanted to believe some of the early word, but until I actually get confirmation myself, it's just the reality. I wish I had someone that I really, truly, and dearly trusted. I just don't. I have some that I think have some talent, but then they'll miss on something that's so bad that you're like, okay, I can't ever listen again, because you can't recommend Babylon or Poor Things or Beau is Afraid or 28 Years Later, right? There's certain films you can't be wrong on, okay? There are gray area films. We've talked about those. This is not a gray area film. This is a straight up recommend. There's no gray here. 28 Years Bone Temple is a good film. Even if it's not as highly rated as maybe I have it, there's no way it's a rotten film. No chance. Early access, send help screenings next Saturday. Oh, nice. It's this Saturday or next Saturday? It comes out I'll go see it. I'll get a ticket. I'll see you up there. I don't know what time it is. If it's at night, that works better for me. But I'm going to go. By the way, I believe we'll talk about it Sunday, but the early screening on Monday, the screen unseen, is going to be Mercy. Why? It's IMAX 3D. Guess what comes out in a few weeks? IMAX 3D. Mercy with Chris Pratt and Ferguson. So that film is going to be your screen unseen. I'll see that Monday. I'll probably, more than likely, just shoot a quick little 1 minute short on the way out, whether it's worth seeing or not. And then we'll come and do the full evaluation on Thursday. I like to do that. It just gives me my downtime. Shooting a video on my phone like this for a minute is like, dude, anyone can do this. This is not hard. Just do it. Stop being lazy. It's funny. I talk about this often with me, and I say that there's times when I'm lazy. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. You go like, well, this guy goes to the gym. But ultimately, what's funny? Back to Duran Duran off the top. When I get my chance just to sit around and do nothing and just kind of like flip through Instagram and Twitter and play some Madden Mobile. I play Madden Mobile. I'm pretty good, by the way. I take it. I need the detox time. By the way, tonight's kit is Club Atlas. I don't think I got to that, but it is. And I think I have like 4 or 5 Club Atlas kits because I love the red and the black. I'm a huge red and black guy, and this thing's got the split in the middle. I've got so many red and black kits. If I look here, hold on. As I look, here's my Flamingo red and black. I mean, literally, how many red and black? I can't even tell you. Black and red, black, whatever that's like. And then, but I'm not kidding you, man. You show me a black and red kit, and I'm going to totally be down for it. All right, other comments here before we're out of here. Hit me as many as you can. And again, why am I playing Duran Duran? Go see 28 Years Later, Bone Temple, you'll know. I never liked Drag Me to Hell's comedy, but holy shit, direction rips, yes. And also the finish, right? The finish. I'm with you. It's got that Evil Dead kind of goofy shit going on. But then the end is like, oh, I love it. Yeah, it does, right? See, that's the thing, Kevin. So I made, right, but oh wait, I got Santa up. That's my I didn't realize I had the wrong comment blast close out. I don't think I made a red one, that's why. But look, here it is. There it is. That's the better one. But no, when I went in, and by the way, a little love here tonight. Look, we read out. It works for Bone Temple. We've got the red and black kit. I just want some love now that we have 3K subs. I want some love for being the most sartorial of all the streamers, frankly, in the history of this great planet. There is no one who combines the aesthetic, right, that you're looking at here with the kits. It's all like, it's fashion, it's film, it's objective, it's fearless, it's MMT. Other comments here, and then we're out of here on this Thursday. I am so excited to see this. Might go see it this weekend, but we'll see. Jacob, it's worth it, man. It really is. You will just know that, listen, dude, if you take people to see this film, there is some torture scenes in this thing done by the crew, the Manson crew. And I'm just telling you, man, I was like, wow, this is some dark shit. So, which might make you uncomfortable. That's what they're designed to do. I mean, listen, that's like Terrifier. Makes you hella uncomfortable, and therefore it is very productive as that kind of film. 10 out of 10 for art direction. Thank you, King Julie. But you know what the funny thing is like, I do all this myself. Like, I need you guys to know, like, I don't have a graphic artist person. I was luckily blessed to have a little of everything. And somehow it kind of all comes together with this mishmash of a channel that AI could never create. I said this, I don't have to worry about AI. AI could never do this. AI could never, AI would go, what? AI would study the show and go, I don't know, it would blow up. I mean, it would implode. It'd be like, I can't do this show. I can do any one of the anti-woke channels because I already know what to say. Just pick the element that went woke and then go off on it. With me, they're like, I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea. The AI thought I was going to come out here tonight and destroy Bone Temple. And now the AI's like, okay, that's it. So this is why I can't ever do it. AI's like, I can't ever be this dude because I don't even know what's going to happen. He doesn't know what he's going to do, right? It's like that line from Collateral where Tom Cruise is talking to Jamie Foxx. He goes, man, you don't even know where you're going to be in 5 minutes. That's so great. He's like, how do you not like that? And it's weird in a weird way. That's kind of like my life. I like that. I don't want to have the same thing over and over and over. The show's not the same thing over and over and over. The movies aren't the same thing. That's what it should be. You should always be surprising yourself as much as you can. And always say yes unless you really want to say no. But if it's an opportunity or maybe you should go do something, go do it. And then if you don't like it, leave. Like, the movies. If I see a movie, I'm like, I don't know. Go in. Now I got A-list. I'm out. I'm going home. I'm not going to watch this. And that's the end of Duran Duran. And that's the end of our stream here on this Thursday. Thanks for being here live from the City of Angels. We're back on Sunday morning for Midnight Movie Money, the box office show, and then Sunday night. Come in with your comments if you watch tonight. Tell me what you would like to see on Sunday. I'll try to get to it for sure, and we'll see you back here on MMT. Thanks for being here, and thanks to everyone who helped get us to 3,000 subs. Now, can we get to 3,001? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Love you all. Good night from LA.